tagline at the bottom is this swine 11.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love it. That is great. Well, I'm putting it up there, and hopefully we'll drive some traffic your way. And if you don't mind, I need to let you go here. We're going to switch over to Kevin in Canada. Aloha, Kevin. Welcome to the show. What is on your mind?
Aloha. How's it going?
Aloha.
Well, yes, my brother. Well, what's on my mind is, it's Kevin in North Bay, Ontario, by the way.
Okay.
And, yeah, we are definitely due for some sort of a false flag operation. You pointed out the signs. And I don't know if you remember about a month ago, all over the mainstream media and nitwits like Sean Hannity and Bill O'Reilly were fear-mongering about it, that there was that Al-Qaeda was planning a terrorist attack on Washington set for October.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they always like to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. It's kind of part of their
it's a setup. They're making sure that you know who you're supposed to blame when the big bang goes off. We saw the same thing before 9/11. In fact, I was still writing at Free Republic back then, and all during the month of August 2001, and the news was constantly pounding Osama bin Laden, Osama bin Laden, Osama bin Laden. He hadn't actually done anything. It was just an endless series of stories about what a terrible man he was and how much he hated the United States. And I remember I actually wrote online at Free Republic. I said, they're getting ready to do something, and they're going to blame it on this guy, because he hasn't done anything to justify this kind of news coverage. It's a pre-sale is what it is.
And the guy still hasn't been indicted yet. That's one question. You'd think after 8 years since he did the darn thing, that at least that he allegedly did, you think the FBI would have at least indicted the SOB, but they still haven't done it. So that tells me,
if you go to the FBI's most wanted page, 9/11 isn't even on there.
No, the latest attack on the U.S. on there was the U.S. Embassy building in 1998. So and that's. But still, you point out that big elephant. That you point that out to people. Oh, you're just a conspiracy nut. Yeah, right.
Well, not as much anymore. Not as much anymore.
Yeah,
it's shifting. Charlie Sheen made talking about 9/11 acceptable discussion in polite company, and as of today, we put up a story at whatreallyhappened.com. The latest survey is showing that 2/3 of Americans do not trust the corporate media. And we know they're coming to the blogs, they're coming to alternative radio. We are winning the battle for the minds of America. And, of course, we've got the truth on our side.
Yeah, and the truth chat rooms are picking up, too. Like, I'm on a member of one of the big ones on Pal Talk called the Wake Up Project. Mm-hmm. And there's other couple like 9/11 Keystone and another 9/11 room that pops up from time to time. And we're starting out with the attacks on the websites. We're getting nailed with what we call room raiders.
Yes.
Where these paid shills, paid government operatives come into the room and start calling us conspiracy nutcases and a lot of derogatory terms I won't
They are rather obvious, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are rather obvious. And I have fun bouncing them out of the room, telling them we're not going to take their nonsense. But, they are planning something, especially since they're doing this all at once. Kevin Smith's show has been getting nailed for a long time. Jeff Rent's getting nailed. And a whole bunch of these other websites getting nailed that speak the truth, and the chat room's getting nailed with room raiders. It's they're getting ready.
Something's up. Something's definitely up there.
And also you also got to keep in mind what's going on in Washington D.C. Who instigated that? Who's the one that instigated that? Like big time at Fox News.
Yes.
So, and we all know that they're also trying to trigger civil unrest. We've got to keep that in mind. They're trying to trigger civil unrest to give them a pretext to declare martial law. Well,
that's exactly right. Well, that's what I was saying about the LRADs and the pain rays. It's there for show. They want, and the tragic thing is, even if we the American people are very well behaved, they are planting agent provocateurs within the crowd to cause trouble. We have caught them at it. We have caught undercover police, undercover FBI trying to pretend to be protesters and say, yes, I'm going to break something in front of the news cameras.
Yeah.
But the thing is, our salvation here. Boy, I can't even talk anymore. Our salvation here. I have rendered lips. I have to back up here a little bit. Our salvation is the fact that the people in charge of this whole operation are a bunch of Cold War fossils who still think the world runs the way it did back in the 1950s and 1960s. They don't get how fundamentally the flow of information in our society has changed. They just don't get it. They think they can play the same tricks all over again, and they'll get exactly the same response that they did 50, 60 years ago. It isn't working. We know we were lied to about the nuclear weapons in Iraq. Why are they trying to lie to us about nuclear weapons in Iran?
Yeah, and I think the people are just starting to wake up. At least for the most part, as we've seen, is that the people are just starting to realize they've been lied to, and it starts with that when it comes to waking up. But I wonder if this awakening is deliberate though. To give them their martial law has already been.
I don't think so, because I don't think the U.S. could really survive a true popular uprising. I think the window of opportunity to stage something has come and gone. Anyway, Kevin, we're going to let you go here. I got to take another break, and when I come back, I got a couple more news stories I want to get through before the end of the day.
Are you tired of searching for great talk radio? Search no more. We are the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome to the Michael Rivero What Really Happened radio program. Call Mike now at 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show here. I got a couple of stories I want to cover before the end of the day. My goodness, how the hour flies. We must go to a longer format show. Hint, 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 hint. Not so subtle nudge. Okay, now, we're always talking about health insurance, and right now we're seeing the complete abandonment of a public health insurance option. Nancy Pelosi backed off of it almost immediately. The lobbying head for one of the biggest for-profit insurance corporations has thrown her a huge fundraising gathering that's going to be in another week here. Olympia Snow is now backing off the public health insurance option, as saying it's just not practical. There are too many people against it. She is getting gobs of campaign donations from the for-profit health insurance companies. It is a total sellout. And folks, let me give you a first-person account of what you can expect from the for-profit health care or health insurance companies, because we just went through this. My lovely wife, Claire, and I are both from that generation where the doctors would prescribe tetracycline to expectant mothers, not knowing that it would damage the teeth of their children. And I'm one of those people where my teeth have, they're not very good, is the bottom line. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's no amount of brushing, no amount of whatever. Got a bunch of plastic and steel in there as it is right now. Now, here's the deal. My wife needs a lot of serious dental work. And a while back, she was in pain, and she went to the dentist. And because the dental health insurance company is on the mainland and had closed for the day, they could not get an authorization for the work that she needed, which is covered by the policy. There's no question. It was a root canal. The policy is supposed to cover the root canal, okay? So she gets the work done and she comes home. We just found out just today, because we're trying to prepay for some other major work that she needs, we just found out that the health insurance company underpaid on the root canal because we didn't get the advance authorization first. And I mean, the insurance is supposed to cover root canals. There's no question about it. There is no conditional saying, if it's a purple root canal, we'll pay so much, and if it's an orange root canal, we'll pay a little bit less. Root canals are covered. They are covered for, such a percentage of whatever. And the insurance company just arbitrarily said, well, since you didn't call us first, we couldn't. Your office was closed. That we don't have to pay the full amount that we're obliged to pay. And we hear horror stories like this from people all around the country, where the insurance companies, they're paying vast sums of money for health insurance, and at every opportunity, somebody who is in charge of their health care from another state, it's not up to their doctors, not up to the nurse, it's up to the health insurance carrier who's way off in another state, and they are desperate to find reasons to deny claims because that's how they get their bonuses. And this is the quality of care that Barack Obama wants to force us all to buy. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the show, we have the most expensive health care on earth here in the United States. It is now ranked as 37th in quality. That is shameful for what is supposed to be the greatest nation on earth, the most industrialized, the most civilized, and our health care quality is 37th in quality while being the most expensive. Somebody somewhere in this system is making a huge amount of money off of sick people, and now they want to force a situation where they're making more money off of perfectly healthy people. Here, have a vaccine. Let us prescribe your vitamins to you. We know what's best for you, so forth and so on. All right, couple more stories before I get out of here. This one really angered me. And it did because my wife and I, we volunteer for a local charity called Hawaii's Computers for Kids, where we go out and we find computers that are being thrown out by local businesses. We refurbish them, format the drives, install an operating system and an open office org and whatever, and put them back to where people can do office work on them. And then we'll find churches and schools and nonprofits and places like that where they need a computer and they can't afford to buy one. And we'll put them in there. At this church where my wife used to be the choir director, we set up an entire computer lab for these kids. They didn't have computers at home. They didn't have computers at school. This computer room that we set up at this church is the only access they have to the World Wide Web and developing computer skills to try and get better jobs. Not that we have that kind of job here in Hawaii, but you understand the principle. So, over on YouTube, we're seeing videos, these car dealerships that have taken in the cars, the cash for clunkers, and they are required by law to destroy the clunkers, and they're posting videos of it being done. I am offended